Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto Got All Kurama Powers in the Pain Art, guys. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Had the 6-Eye Sharingan over on Anime King 3. And I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had All the Chakra of Indra, Ashura, and Hagoromo over at Anime King 2. I also post a movie over Anime Prince of What If Naruto Got Betrayed and went to the DC Universe, so go ahead check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, for new yes I did have 4 channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So without further ado, wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last spot we left off, Kyuubi was kidnapped as Kakashi made his way after them. He had left Sai behind to handle the other ninja while he made his way, trekking through the snow. Kyuubi finally came to a distance away as she looked up towards Shiro and asked him what he was doing. When she realized that Shiro was the traitor, as he told her that he was going to return the land to what it formerly was. He was angry with her, upset with her. He told her that the ninjas here did not know how to perform ice techniques without the liberty of the snow around them, and she took that away. She took it away from them. As the other ninjas had not complained, but as she looked towards the man, as he saw the fury in his eyes, he blamed her for it. He blamed her for everything. He then used the mirrors as it aligned with the moon to gain power, immense, ultimate power as snow started to fall. Kakashi arrived on the scene to see him. However, he sent his 2 opponents after Kakashi. Kakashi went up against them. The both of them had gotten ridiculously stronger because of the snow that was falling around the area, as their power had been magnified. They faced off against the copy ninja as they clashed against him. The battle was brutal and deadly, as Kakashi was able to evade anything too lethal coming towards him, the both of them proving to be rather dangerous. That is when Kakashi turned his gaze upon mirrors, realizing that that was the source of their power. Shiro decided to intervene as his assailant was against the idea, saying that they could handle this. Shiro killed her without a second thought as he turned his gaze upon Kakashi. Kakashi was the one that murdered his brother, as Kakashi realized that he was the brother of Naderi. As Kakashi quickly went on the offensive against this guy, but everything he threw was not getting through at all. Kakashi tried his darnest, but the guy was proven to be literally untouchable with his snow. He had gotten immense power and strength, as Kakashi did not stand a chance against him in this state. The copy ninja was being beaten back rather badly, as he was being knocked back to the point where he was bleeding, and he was running out of chakra. It's only a matter of time now. That is when Naruto arrived on the scene, as Naruto decided to take over for him, as Kakashi went on the resting state as Naruto faced off against Shiro. Shiro was incredibly strong, far above any Jonin, passing Kakashi and several others with the magnifying power of the moon. The last remaining assailant went after Kakashi, but Sakura arrived and crushed him into the ground, ending his life. As they made their way towards the mirror with Sai, it turns out that Fubuki had been working for Kyuubi this entire time. This facade that she took over was just a trick, yes, a facade so that she could get information on Shiro and his people. But she could not get it back to Kyuubi quick enough. But this was their chance, as she explained everything about the mirrors and what they had to do. So with that, they made their way towards them to destroy them, having the idea of what they need to do now. Seeing what was going on, Shiro tried to get away so that he could attack, but he could not get away from Naruto. as Naruto was proven to be rather dangerous and holding him and knocking him back. Naruto's Sage Mode was keeping up with his enhanced strength, as Naruto and him clashed rather violently, the battle proving to be destructive as they destroyed the area around them. However, when Fubuki told them that they all had hit it at once, they destroyed the mirror. Sharo would then start to use Ice Release, Keiki Genkai techniques, showing that he was a ninja that was from the Yuki clan, seeing that the Yuki ninjas were the ones that formed this nation. As he hid it for a long time now, but now was the time that he used it as he clashed against Naruto. He created an impenetrable dome trapping Naruto inside, but that was his mistake as the others could not see. Naruto activated his awakening mode. It only took at least 5 seconds before the dome shattered as Sharo's dead body was being held by Naruto. Releasing that amount of power, Sharo did not stand a chance. It only took him 5 seconds to knock the guy down, showing how far advanced Naruto power was against him in this state. As he told the group that it was time that they head back to Konoha. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. And remember to go ahead and check out the other what ifs, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So without wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. Naruto looked over his paperwork as he eyed it with a bit of annoyance. Him and his team had just gotten back from the Land of Spring earlier that day. Unfortunately though, he did not have the same luxury as the rest of his team to relax. He intended to give them another mission later that day, so this was a good time off for them at the moment, as Naruto intended to show the other nations that Konoha was still as powerful as ever. But after that difficult mission, they need time to rest. Kakashi more so, seeing that he had been put through a lot after his encounter with Sharo. He had been placed in the hospital when they got back, just to make sure that nothing was wrong with him. While their trip came with a bit of trouble, things worked out in the end, and not to mention, things was amazing with Koyuki, as she had sent her full support to help them out. Getting up, Naruto glanced towards the window, as he looked through to see the many workers going about the construction. It was late in the day, so the sun was starting to dip. He was growing tired of his paperwork, not to mention there was something that he wanted to try, seeing that his envoys were not following him at the moment. They were unaware of his return yet. He did not intend to call them back until tomorrow, so this was a good opportunity to try the one thing that has been plaguing his mind since Pain. On his way out, he told Emiko where he would be, just in case something would happen while he was absent away from the village. Time skip. Naruto stood in the middle of a luscious green field. The place was large and a distance away from Konoha. Now that he was so far away from the village, and no one to see him, he could practice his awakening mode. There were several reasons why Naruto kept the control of the Kyuubi chakra to himself. The first one was so he could always have an ace in the hole that no one would be aware of. Secondly, he did not know how people would react to see him in this mode. Lastly, he didn't want anyone asking him questions because honestly, he knew as much as they did when it came to this new power. As of yet anyway. Hell, Sakura and Kakashi had berated him with millions of questions as they were making their way back from Land of Spring. They had wanted to know what he did to kill Sharo, as Naruto could only imagine the amount of questions that he will get if they found out about this, all of them. But now that he was alone, he could finally find out some secrets. At least he hoped. As Naruto activated the mode like it was second nature, the fiery power enveloped him instantly. The 9 cut off pieces of his cloak fluttered like 9 tails behind him. Now that he's finally in a peaceful situation and not a stressful fighting one, he can actually feel the amount of power that coursed through him. It was like nothing that he had ever felt. He had more energy and more strength. He felt lighter, faster. The feeling was euphoric. The adrenaline was skyrocketing and he just wanted to move. In a blink of an eye, Naruto crossed the 700-yard field as he landed elegantly on the grass. Looking down towards his hands with a smile, he had never felt better within his life. As he thanked the fox over and over in his head, grateful for this wonderful gift the Bijo had given him. He leaped around the field in pure ecstasy, having a lot of energy. Had there been any onlookers, all they would see was a yellow flash, zipping around from left to right. As Naruto had to stop himself as his speed seemed to be much more fast than he thought. Even after all of that, he barely felt any sort of fatigue. Hell, even his breathing had not even picked up to show how calm he was despite all of that. He looked off in the distance as he spotted a tree 100 yards away. He pulled his arm back with his fingers open. He then shot his arm forward and pumped the fox chakra into it. The effects were instantaneous. The chakra exploded out and created a hand-like substance out of chakra before. It reached about 40 yards as Naruto found it too difficult to control. It returned back to his hand as Naruto looked down toward his hand. He brought the same hand up in front of him, with the palm facing the sky. He then held his other hand up as he tried to form a Rasengan. As Naruto smiled when the Rasengan was moments away from being formed. But he then frowned as he felt a change in his chakra. The chakra flashed purple before it started to waver unevenly, like there was a distortion of chakra. Blending together, it exploded right in front of him, sending him skidding across the ground. Naruto picked himself up as he looked at his hand, not even a scratch. It seems like while he was still in this mode though, the Kyuubi chakra could still screw with his chakra control. From that try he could tell that the Kyuubi chakra was too much. It wanted to take over. It seems like even without a consciousness, the fox chakra was just so domineering and overcoming of others. It wanted to consume his chakra in the process. He would have to practice a bit more if he wanted to learn to use jutsu in this mode. This made him wonder about something as he took a wider stance. He then brought up the fox chakra, all of it to the surface. A yellow chakra exploding out of him in all different directions. The earth shook around him as he growled, feeling the powerful chakra lash out. Several tentacles of chakra that was emitting from him slammed into the ground, uprooting the entire place. As Naruto kept this up for a good 20 minutes, before he collapsed on his hands and knees, the mode deactivating, he stared at the ground, a heavy layer of sweat castrating down his face. His chakra had wiped out all the grass around him in a 50-yard radius. As Naruto panted surprise that the Kyuubi chakra could affect him in such a way. He had used a great deal of the Kyuubi's chakra just now. There was still more, but his body gave out. As he finally found a weakness, there was a certain point where his body could not take it. Seeing that he was using it full force for 20 minutes, he realized that was the limit. However, an idea popped into his head, one that could possibly kill him, but he needed to find out how far he could go in his new mode. This would allow him to know his limit. He just had to be very careful. With that in mind, he got back up as he activated the mode once again. However, within 1 minute, he fell down to his knees. However, he still kept the chakra up. Soon enough, a surge of pain shot through his body as he almost lost consciousness. As he knew that he had to stop, he had pushed himself past his limits. However, to his shock, he could not pull it back. The power continued to spew out of him like a geyser. As Naruto lurched forward and slammed his head into the ground, cracking it apart and destroying the ground. As a pain shot through him, the yellow chakra that surrounded him started to flicker as it started to turn a shade of crimson. As Naruto's body became bubbly, as the chakra compressed around him, turned into a second layer of skin. The 9 length on his new activation mode extended as they formed, turning into tails. His skin started to peel off the chakra surrounding him, doing more harm than good. It felt like he was bathing in lava. As Naruto released a roar, digging his now claw hands into the ground, tearing it apart. This is not good, he said to himself. I'm going to lose control. As he tried to calm himself down, his eyes turning white. As Naruto looked forward as he saw several trees in the far distance, Naruto slowly applied pressure down to his feet before shooting off. He slammed headfirst into the tree, and then another, and another, and another, and another. It took a while as Naruto fell unconscious after slamming his head repeatedly through trees. Hours later, Naruto's eyes slowly flickered open, as Naruto groaned in pain in his body, feeling the effects of his stupid curiosity. He looked around as he was shocked at the destruction that he caused, not realizing at the time how much he did. There was a 30-yard trail of destruction, falling over trees all over. Some of the bark on the ground was burned, a symptom of his red chakra. He cursed at himself for being so rash, but he got what he wanted. No one but him got hurt. He picked himself up and touched his face, as he yelped a bit at the pain that stung his cheek. As Naruto looked over himself and saw several patches of his skin was a bright red color. As Naruto realized the weakness if he used his new mode for too long and pushed it too hard, he could revert into a mindless state. That's just great, he said to himself sarcastically. as he looked up to see that it was probably the middle of the night. As he made his way back to the village, he now knew what he had to do. There was only one way he would come to understand his new activation mode. He would have to find another Jinchuriki. The next day, as Naruto sat in his chair, he heard a knock and told the person entering as Emiko peeped in. "Shikamaru Nara is here to see you," she said. "Great, send him in." As Emiko left, Naruto had been thinking who he wanted his advisor to be before he had left. He was supposed to fill 3 positions that dealt with the Hokage. They were the secretary, advisor, and assistant. He found no reason to change the secretary, so he had to pick a other 2. He had yet to find a suitable assistant because they were supposed to be highly trained and be able to handle certain matters that the Hokage dealt with. They were also supposed to have a close relationship with the Hokage for many different reasons. He had thought about a couple of people, but he decided against them for one reason or another. As for the advisor, he had thought about getting Shikamaru's father, to do it since he was now the advisor, but he thought against it at the last moment. He was closer to Shikamaru, and thus felt more comfortable having him around to talk to than his father. However, there was a problem. "Absolutely not. I refuse," Shikamaru said. "It is just too troublesome." As Naruto sighed, massaging his temple, an action that he has been doing a lot recently. Shikamaru was just too much of a lazy bastard for his own good. Naruto cracked a forced smile, moving his hand down towards his lap as he spoke. "We haven't seen each other for over a month now, and this is the first thing you have to say to me." It was Shikamaru's turn to sigh in a more exasperating way. "I've known you for almost my entire life. I'm pretty sure our friendship has passed the point where we need to go and greet one another, no matter how long we haven't seen each other." "But as I said, I refuse," Shikamaru said. "It will be too troublesome to be your advisor." "Come on, at least give it a shot." "No." "You will get free reign of my office whenever you like." "No." "You will have as much power as the elders." "No." "Your opinion would be very important when it comes to the betterment of the village." "No." "You will get to see my handsome face more often," said Naruto. "Hell no." "What's that supposed to mean?" said Naruto, offended by the hell no comment. "I don't want anything. It's just too much responsibility that I don't want." As Naruto became quiet after that, thinking about what words to say next, he then remembered what Shikamaru had said to him after he had lost Jiraiya, and he was in that depressed state. "I thought it was time for us to become the adults," Shikamaru said. Naruto. Shikamaru cursed at himself for not seeing that coming. He understood what Naruto meant, but being an advisor just sucked in his opinion. He was well versed from being around his father all the time. He had just never been interested in it in the slightest. As Shikamaru remained silent, trying to come up with the right words. "Please," said Naruto. As Shikamaru saw the look that Naruto was giving him, it would mean a lot. Now Shikamaru felt bad. How could he say no to that? As he realized that Naruto needed him in the position more as a friend than an advisor. The boy genius knew that most of the people that was around Naruto's age had yet to talk to him, let alone see him since he became Hokage, and that must be hurting the Uzumaki a lot. Naruto was very close when things come towards friendship, so for someone like him to be away from friendship for so long, it must be torture. Shikamaru sighed as he knew that he lost the moment. He started to think it over. "Okay, I'll be your advisor." Naruto almost jumped out of his seat. A small smile crept on Shikamaru's face, seeing the way Naruto reacted to him taking the job. As Shikamaru stepped towards one of the windows, he couldn't help but enjoy the view. Though he would never openly admit it, the view was better than the one when him and Choji stare up in the clouds. Maybe his new job would not be that bad. "So," said Naruto, "do you have any questions on being an advisor?" "Nope," Shikamaru said, "although I have 2 questions about something else." "Fire away," said Naruto. Shikamaru glanced towards him. "How come you haven't announced the fact that you're the 4th Hokage's son?" The pen that Naruto was holding fell to the table as he looked towards him in surprise. "How did you—" Shikamaru smiled triumphantly. Seeing Naruto's face was priceless. As he glanced back over the village, he had always speculated that was their connection, but Naruto's words had proved him correct. The resemblance is uncanny. If you didn't have those whisker marks on your cheeks, I would have thought that you were his twin brother. As Naruto scratched the back of his head, believing that others would start to think that he was a 4th son as well, because of their looks. "Well, if you could keep that to yourself, It would be much appreciated. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me. If people are too dumb to figure it out for themselves, then they don't deserve to know. However, you didn't answer the question. How come you haven't announced it? Now that I'm your advisor, I gotta tell you, you should definitely think about doing it. A lot of people will come to your side if they know that you're the son of that man. No, said Naruto. I cannot take that chance. What? Said Shikamaru. Well, what you say is true, said Naruto. In many ways, it will also be the opposite. How so? Shikamaru said. After defeating Pain and saving Konoha, a lot of people see me in a new light. However, a great many of them, mostly ninja over our age, still hate me for what I contain. Naruto wanted to keep the Kyuubi death a secret, so he still acted like the Kyuubi was still inside of him. He knew that Shikamaru was amongst the few that knew about the Kyuubi in their generation, so there was no point of trying to hide it right here. Although they no longer see me as a Kyuubi itself, they know I am the container. When they see me, in the back of their mind they see the face of the Kyuubi and the expression of their dying loved ones that were killed on that fateful night. They may hide it, they may fight the urge over it, but if you truly hate something, that hatred will not disappear over the course of one night. If I do release the info that my father was the fourth Hokage, it's impossible to know how people will react. They may be overjoyed, they may be happy, they may be mad, they may be sad. Hell, just maybe their hatred of me that I've tried so hard to get over resurface and make my job even more harder. Shikamaru understood where Naruto was coming from at first. He only saw Naruto being the son of the fourth as a good thing. But then again, his opinion was in Naruto's favor. Shikamaru had never grown up hating Naruto like their older generations had. Most of the populace hated Naruto growing up for something he had no control over. They very well could get angry if they discovered that the fourth was Naruto's father. Not only did Naruto have to worry about his own reputation, but that of his father as well. That must be a lot of stress to deal with. As Naruto continued on, people are unpredictable, Shikamaru. Who knows how they react to the news? Maybe if I do relieve my heritage, they will see me in a better light. And that's what get me elected. However, another part of me does not wish to be in my father's shadow. That feeling was one of the reasons I chose you to be my advisor. Shikamaru looked at Naruto in a new understanding, as he did not look deep into Naruto choosing him to be his advisor. What Naruto said was true. Shikamaru was adamant on not being stuck in his father's shoes. It was why he always tried to do things himself and not ask for his father's help on anything. He wanted to discover things himself and not constantly be reminded that he was Shikaku's son. I understand, he said. Good, said Naruto. So what's your next question? As Shikamaru almost forgot that he had another one. Do you really think that your promise to complete Konoha reconstruction in 2 months will give you the majority in Konoha Jonin vote? Shikamaru knew what it was when it came to Konoha politics, thanks to his father. It was also well known that Naruto had promised the daimyo the reconstruction of Konoha in 2 months. Well, of course I do, said Naruto, finding that question to be an easy one. It's common knowledge that it took the first Hokage half a year to construct Konoha. He also did it entirely by himself, but back then Konoha was just half the size that it is right now. So in my opinion, I believe what I'm doing is even greater. People will acknowledge this, I'm sure of it. Shikamaru took in the info as he countered with the words that Naruto told him earlier. People are unpredictable. As Naruto understood his meaning, that's true, he said. So why not do something else to prove your worth as Hokage, Shikamaru asked. Oh? Like what, said Naruto. His voice sounded like he already thought through that. I don't know, he said. Something to make the people understand your ambitions. As Naruto continued in the same voice. Like? He asked. As Shikamaru stayed quiet as he tried to think of something. However, it was a lot harder than he thought. Naruto chuckled, knocking him out of his thoughts. See? It's harder than you think. Shikamaru was silent but nodded. Like I said, people are unpredictable. The slightest thing I can do can have the biggest ramification amongst the populace. Something small can blow up into something huge, and something big can have no impact at all. The only way to ensure people would follow what you say is to get their convictions through your action. Only then will they start to believe in you and listen to you. As Shikamaru nodded, he was slightly shocked that Naruto was so understanding of the role of Hokage. This was certainly not the same Uzumaki that he had always known. This Naruto was a lot more mature, Suddenly there was a knock as Naruto ushered the person in, as it was once again Emiko. Hokage-sama, there's a large number of people from Hashigakure, along with your active daimyo and self-proclaimed Hoshikage, outside at the main gate. There's also a small entourage with the daimyo of the Land of Flowers, who is also waiting right outside the walls. As Naruto nodded, remembering the idea set a meeting with the daimyo of Narinokuni, Haruna. However, Samaru, the Hoshikage, was not supposed to show for a couple more days. Apparently, he took it upon himself to show up a lot more earlier than intended. As Naruto thanked Emiko and told her she could leave before he took his coats. As he took up his scroll, he glanced towards Shikamaru. "Want tag along?" "It's probably gonna be troublesome, but sure," he said, with a yawn, as they made their way. The two of them arrived at the main gate to find them closed, as Naruto was wearing his Hokage hat, as they flickered to the top of the walls. The Konoha ninjas down there realized their leader as they bowed their head. "At ease," said Naruto. Shikamaru smiled and shook his head. It was gonna take him a while to get used to this. "You can open the gates, they mean us no harm." "Right away, Hokage-sama," as the Chonins opened the gates. As Naruto and Shikamaru used the time to jump down to ground level, the two delegation walked in, their daimyos being carried in large carriages. All of the people from Hashigakure wore different shades of purple clothing and robes in honor of their mystical peacock method, which is known for giving their chakra a purple hue. And those from Annokuni, their clothing was a mixture of yellow and green, and some small hint of blue. Their village was known to be hospitable for some of the most honorable and kind people in the world. The land was flush with brilliant flowers, giving it its name, and wonderful landmarks. Haruna had already sent portion of her workers towards Konoha already, so she only showed up in her carriage with several bodyguards that were trained in the flower arts. On the other hand, Samaru had waited to send anyone for reasons unknown to Naruto. Something about coming here first, to see how far he had come. But Samaru was actually here now, with a mass of workers. The self-proclaimed Hoshikage was in a carriage that was dragged by horses, surrounded by bodyguards and his entourage. The two delegation was almost upon them when there was a commotion. There seemed to be some yelling between the two horse-drawn carts, but everyone seemed to pay it no mind, as Naruto keen here and was able to pick up on it. "Come on, just one date. That's all I'm asking for. Why wouldn't you want to go out with that stunning, dashing, and strong Hoshikage as myself? For the last time I said no. Maybe if you weren't such an interescentric maniac." That seemed to be the end of their conversation as the door to Haruna carriage opened up. The daimyo of Land of Flowers came stepping out, holding up her multicolored gown so she would not trip. One of her bodyguards held her hand as she made her last step to the ground. She was already in her early 20s when she met Naruto, so there was not much changes to be done. As she was scowling, having to deal with Samaru, as Samaru stepped out and he took some heavy pace down to the ground. He was torn in the robes of the Hoshikage, as his village had created in a representation of the other 5 nations. A bulky white robe that reached onto the ankles, and he had a Kage hat. It was colored purple with the kanji for star at the front. Samaru crossed his arms, huffing annoyance at Haruna, constant defiance. The two walked side by side even though they seemed to be ignoring one another. Haruna's attitude did a complete 180 when she saw Naruto. "Naruto-kun, I'm so happy to finally see you," she said, as she walked forward and hugged Naruto. The Uzumaki returned the hug. Thankfully for her, though no one was able to see the dark blush on her cheeks, a clearing of the throat turned their attention towards Samaru, as he seemed to be rather annoyed. A tip mark appeared on Haruna's forehead, as he just spoiled her embrace. "You have not left yet?" she asked. Samaru fired back in anger. "I was asked to come here, you harpy of a woman." Harpy?" Haruna said in disbelief that someone called her that. "Who do you think you are?" As Naruto's sweat dropped, "I didn't ask for any of you to come here. You just invited yourself." As everyone was starting to gather around, seeing the scene quite comedic, Samaru turned towards Naruto like he did not even notice him, as he walked up towards him until they were a foot away from one another. However, his smirk faltered a lot when he saw the difference in their height, although the two were the same age. Naruto was standing at 5'9". Samaru had gotten the short end of the stick for his entire life, like how Naruto was in his younger age, but even now he was standing at 5'3". To say the least, he was already annoyed that Naruto had grown taller than him, even though the Uzumaki was shorter than him when they first met, but he placed his smirk back up. "It's been a while, Naruto," he said in an arrogant tone. "Sorry to say, but you don't look that much different." "Same to you," said Naruto, as he decided to indulge in the banter. "I'm glad that you brought the help I asked for," said Naruto. As Naruto had never liked Samaru even when they were younger, he felt bad for what he had to go through. But his obnoxious attitude, well, they kind of fight against those feelings. Samaru was exactly like Sasuke. He was conceited and narcissistic. The only thing that made him different from Sasuke was he had no power to back up his words. Sasuke could follow through with what he says, but all Samaru could do was rely on the mystical peacock method. If that failed, then he would fall. That was a harsh truth. "Of course," he said, "they will help under one condition." As Naruto quirked the eyebrow. "And what would that be?" "Fight me," Samaru said. His word caused several people to gasp around them. As Naruto looked at him, "You can't be serious." As Samaru looked annoyed. "What's the big deal?" he said, placing his hands on his hips. "You're the Hokage and I'm the Hoshikage. Let's see which one of us is the strongest. I mean, it's pretty obvious that I am, but I want to see the look on your people's face when I kick your ass." His words earned the people of Konoha booing at him. There were a couple of cheers from the Hashikawa workers, but their cheers were drowned out from the Konoha people booing. As Naruto mentally scoffed at Samaru, he would have called the young daimyo out and called himself Hoshikage. After all, the title of Kage was only reserved to the 5 great nations, but he decided to keep his mouth shut. "No," said Naruto, "I will not fight you. There will be no point. I have stated what I'm willing to do for your help in my village reconstruction through my letter. If that is not enough, then so be it." As Uzumaki turned and started to walk away, much to the protest of his people. "Kick his ass, Hokage-sama." Samaru, on the other hand, was shocked that Naruto had declined him. The Naruto he remembered would never have done such a thing. Even Shikamaru was a bit surprised as he caught up with Naruto. "Do you really think this is such a good idea?" Shikamaru said. "You said it earlier. The only way to get people to listen is to show them your actions. Aren't you being a bit of a hypocrite in this situation?" As Naruto's eyes turned towards his advisor, as Samaru spoke up, "What are you, scared?" Haruna decided to get involved. "Stop being such an asshole," she said. As Naruto hearing picked up on the chatter from the ninjas around them. "Is he not gonna fight? Come on, Hokage-sama, show him." "What's he doing?" "Some Hokage." That last sarcastic remark struck a chord within Naruto. This was not the impact he wanted to make amongst his people. But he never wanted to fight one of the daimyos though. It just did not seem Hokage-like. But if his people want it done, as Naruto turned around. "Very well," he said. "You got your fight." Samaru grabbed his robe and his hat as he threw them off. They both landed on Haruna, who yelled angrily about being a coat hanger. He had on black ninja pants that were tied with bandage at the ankles, purple sandals. His upper body had tight, purple long robes with long sleeve. His Hashikawa headband with a star on it was tied around his forehead. He looked towards Haruna and her people. "You and the rest should back up in a safe distance like Naruto's people. Things could get serious." She grumbled some profanities, but she knew she had no place in a fight between shinobis. As she walked back towards her entourage, having them back up. As Naruto took off his hat and his coat and handed them to Shikamaru, who backed up. However, someone spoke up. "Mind if I join?" Turning their head, they saw none other than Gaara himself, the 5th Kazekage. "Gaara," said Naruto, as he was accompanied by his siblings. As Naruto ignored Samaru and jogged over towards the 3, he gave Gaara a friendly embrace, which he happily returned, waving towards his older siblings. As Conqueror saw the predicament that Naruto was in, get into trouble like always, Shikamaru made his way over there as well, saying hello to the Sand Party. He looked towards Temari. "It's good to see you." "You look great," he said. She smirked at his choice of words. So the lazy genius does know when to compliment a lady. "Oh my god, you two. Just get a room already," said Kankuro. His words earned him a punch to the head from Temari. As Naruto ignored their conversation. "You know that you're welcome here whenever you like, Gaara, but I gotta ask. What brings you here?" "I just came to see for myself," Gaara said, "that you were truly the 6th Hokage. What can I say? Dreams do come true." "Indeed they do." Ahem! Samaru cleared his throat. Are we gonna do this or not? Sorry, Gaara. We will catch up after I deal with him. Gaara glanced over towards Samaru. You want me to deal with him? As Samaru heard his words, making him smirk arrogantly. Oh, don't you worry, Kazekage. We're going to have our fight once I'm done mopping the floor, with Naruto here. Gaara looked at him, not knowing if he was strong enough to back his words or if he was just too overconfident for his own good. The people started to cheer the Konoha ninjas, giving him their best of luck. The Nara held up his arm. This is just a spar, so do not go for the kill. Also, please, for the love of God, try not to destroy anything. Alright, fight. Samaru immediately dashed forward at great speed that impressed the audience. However, Naruto narrowed his eyes as he wondered if the Hoshikage was holding back or something, because in Naruto's eyes he was moving slow. Naruto sidestepped his attack like it was nothing. Samaru turned and unleashed a volley of punches as Naruto kept on dodging them, not even once being grazed by one of his fists. Samaru threw too much strength into one of his punches, carrying him a bit further than he wanted. As Naruto saw his opening, as Naruto ducked and moved in, Samaru did not even see him as Naruto drive his knee into his gut. As Samaru was panting, as Naruto tilted his head in confusion. Why he was acting so sluggish, that is when he heard people speaking. Whoa, they're moving so fast. I can hardly see them. Yeah, it's awesome. I hope Hokage-sama win. I can't believe those two are so evenly matched. A naive Genin said. Your eyes are just not able to keep up yet. One of the Jonin said. While the Hoshikage is indeed fast, Hokage-sama's speed is far greater. Oh, so that's it, Naruto thought. Nothing was wrong with Samaru, as Naruto had not noticed it. He was just incredibly faster. He took off the weights when he had to fight Shiro, and seeing that Shiro was incredibly powered by the moon power, Naruto did not realize how much faster he has gotten. So Samaru was moving at his top speed, but Naruto was just way above him. While Naruto was busy thinking, Samaru had finished a set of hand signs. Light purple chakra started to sprout out of his back as a chakra flared around him, as a crowd yelled out in awe. The purple chakra shot from his back and raced towards Naruto. As Naruto jumped out of the way at the last second, the chakra smashed in the ground, making cracks. Shikamaru sighed in annoyance. I said not to destroy anything. The two of them ignored him as a chakra picked itself up and chased after Naruto. It became like a cat and mouse as Samaru tried to use the chakra to hit Naruto, but Naruto kept on dodging. Would you stop messing around? Whatever you got, I can take it, Samaru said in anger. If that is what you want. Naruto vanished. Samaru blinked as he turned. Is this the power of one of the 5 great Kages? How can any other village hope to match up to this power? It's incredible, he thought to himself as he saw Naruto's fist. Boom! The fist made contact as he was sent sailing. As he was sent sliding across the ground, afar, 20 yards away. He was knocked unconscious instantly, his people flocking toward his side. The people of Konoha exploded in cheers as Naruto made his way towards Samaru, who was awakening. As Haruna moved towards Naruto's side, that was amazing. You showed him, she said. Samaru's eyes fluttered open as he saw his people helping him to his feet. He thanked them and then looked towards Naruto. A smile came on his face. Wasn't much of a fight, but it was fun, he said. He offered Naruto a handshake as Naruto returned it with his own smile. Indeed, as Naruto turned to the other political leaders as he asked, Now who's hungry, he said. Time skip. Where the hell is Shikamaru and Naruto? Ino whined out loud as she sat between Choji and Sakura. The rest of the Konoha 11 had gathered, excluding Shino. They were at one of the various restaurants that were near the walls that had survived against Pain Almighty Push technique. The people there treated them very nicely because of their occupation. Plus it was a small family-owned business and at the outskirts of Konoha, so not many people knew about it. So it was a nice secluded place for them to get away from their problems. This will only be the second time that they were here, yet they already had a handful of shenanigans from their first experience. A month and a half back before Pain attack, Sakura and Ino decided that their generation should be a more closer bunch. So they came up with the idea to meet once a month somewhere. They made sure that it would be a day that everyone was free so they could all hang out with one another. Everyone knew about the get together except for Naruto. Unfortunately, the week they started to tell everyone about it was the same week Naruto had left to train in Fukazaku. Seeing that Naruto had not really been seen by much since he returned, he did not really know about it. The only people that did was Ino, Tenten, and Sakura. And Ino, Tenten, and Sakura had completely blank on the matter when he came to the flower shop. Because they were shocked to see him after so long, and more shocked to see that he was actually Hokage. In Sakura's case, she was worried about her friendship with him than any get-together to even think about that. Although she did beat herself up, that she forgot to tell him about it when they got back from Harunohune. Their last hope was on Shikamaru, who Ino found out through Choji that he was going to talk about being Naruto advisor. The Nara had made it clear to Choji that he did not want the position, so everyone was clear that he was not going to take it. If there was one thing that was greater than his laziness, it was his fortitude to not do something he didn't want to do. As Ino rested on her hand as she leaned over the table, her cheeks were red. "Man," she yelled, "I just want some eye candy." "Man, she's so drunk." Kiba laughed out loud on the opposite side of the table. He was at the end so he could be next to Akamaru, who was lying on the ground next to the boot. "Yeah, she's even drunker than usual," Choji said. "Last time she was live of the party when she was wasted, but she has drank herself past that point." Sakura shook her head at her friend. Another reason why they pick a civilian establishment. Once they show their ID, they could drink. Everyone drank in moderation except for Ino. The first time they got here, Ino drank so much she almost stripped on the table, if she wasn't stopped by Sakura or Tenten. After that, she started to flirt with the waiter. That did not turn out so good. It still amazed Sakura that Ino was still a virgin. As Tenten was sitting between her teammates, as she giggled in her hand as she teased Neji. "Neji's here though. Is he not enough?" As Neji turned his head away. As the only reason why he came to these things was because Tenten, Lee, Hinata were the only people that he hung out with, and they invited him. It also helped that Naruto was supposed to come this time, which Neji was happy to hear about. "Ew, I'm not a lesbian, Tenten," Ino said, making a disgusting face, like Neji was not right there. "Jeez, that's like me being attracted to a girl." Tenten almost exploded in laughter. As Neji, eyebrow furrowed, but he decided not to say anything, knowing that it's not wise to fight with a drunken girl. He learned his lesson the first time they were here, and Ino made a comment about his eyes. Hinata was too shy to say anything, but Neji was not. He just had yet to know how crazy the junk 16-year-old could get. He learned his lesson the hard way. "I'm sure that they will get here soon," said Lee. He was the only one that did not take part in drinking alcohol. The sole reason he would start to destroy everything. Shikamaru and Naruto will make quite a youthful entrance. "Yeah, okay," she said. "Naruto is Hokage now. Even if he knew about this, it's not like he would show up. He's got more important things to do now." No one answered to that at first, as they thought about that Naruto was actually Hokage. As Ino responded to herself, "I still can't believe it," she said. "How come?" said Choji. "He's proven himself on multiple occasions that he's strong enough to hold the title. Did you always thought he thought about being Hokage for nothing?" "Yeah, but come on," Kiba said, as he was a small amount of red that started to appear on his cheeks. "He was the dead last of the academy. How can someone like that become Hokage?" "Hard work," said Lee as he clenched his fists. "Naruto can work hard and strive for the position with all of his heart. His youthful determination will reward him with the position of Hokage." "Yeah, things can change," Choji said. Choji-kun is right, Hinata spoke up, gaining their attention because usually she did not speak up. As there was a bit of red on her cheeks, surprising, seeing that last time she never drank a sip of alcohol. Naruto-kun worked so hard, and he's finally achieved what he wanted. He's more worthy of the title than anyone here. Alright, Kiba said, raising his hands in defeat. Sakura smiled at Hinata for defending Naruto. Sakura started to get a bit tipsy, as she couldn't help but think that Hinata was just so cute when she defended Naruto. Everyone knew that Hinata was head over heels for Naruto, so it was adorable to see her defend him when she normally says nothing. Ino slammed the bottle on the table, surprising everyone. "Listen, Hinata," Ino said as her body waved back in front. "It's cute and all that you want, Naruto, but you have to be careful." As Hinata started to blush, Ino tried to wink at Hinata, but because she's drunk, it became a weird, slow, strange blink. Because now that he's Hokage, a lot of women will be after him. No one seemed to read between the lines except for Hinata, as she looked at Ino. Hinata blush died down as she asked, "Are you one of those girls, Ino-san?" As Ino did a hiccup with a gasp. Surprised by the question, the shyest one out of them asked. Ino's cheeks became a bit redder, which everyone was shocked to see. The most surprised was Sakura, as she looked at Ino like she grew a second head. As Haruna could not believe that Ino had a crush on Naruto. Whatever happened to Sasuke-kun? Did the Yamanaka not care for the Uchiha anymore? It was true that Naruto became more attractive the older he got. He could even be considered good looking before he became Hokage. After he added the Jonin vest and the cloak, most of the female in Konoha swooned over his attractiveness. He was actually pretty hot. Sakura blinked as she shook her head, as she couldn't believe she just thought that. It must be the alcohol talking. Ino was about to defend herself, but a new voice stepped in. Got room for one more. As they saw that it was Shikamaru. As they moved around, allowing him to sit down. What's up, he asks. The usual, Chichoji. What took you so long? Well, I was gonna talk to my dad when I remember. Today's our get together. So where's Shino, he asks. He's out on a mission with his father, said Inuzaka. It was something about collecting flowers outside the village. Because our medics need them, and they can't collect the ones here because we're not producing them. Becker Quest and Ino step in, as Shikamaru was not surprised to see her like this. Where's Naruto? As Shikamaru waved off the waiter who started to ask me if you want anything. Sorry, I forgot to tell him. Damn it, Shikamaru, Ino said, slamming her hand down. You're supposed to be the genius, how could you forgot? That's a bit unusual, Sakura said. Yeah, what gives, said Tenten. Hinata wanted to know as well, but she did not say anything. As Kiba chuckled, how the great Nara has fallen. Look, I was too busy getting persuaded to be his advisor for me to even think about it. Wait, so you actually became his advisor? Choji said. The others were shocked as well, as Shikamaru nodded to confirm it. Well, what happened to all that crap about? There's no way in hell that I'm going to be advisor. As Shikamaru blushed in embarrassment and looked away. What can I say? Naruto got a bit of a silver tongue. However, Shikamaru used the wrong words. He's referring to Naruto, well, convincing him, but Ino's mind was not in a state to think that way. As she giggled perversely. I wonder, what else does that silver tongue of his can do? Ino-san. The voice came from Sakura and Hinata. The both of them were blushing rather deeply. Sakura has almost seen Naruto had sex, so it was kind of a sensitive subject when talking about that. As Tenten giggled at their antics, Ino looked offended that they yelled at her. What? You two were thinking it as well. You're right, Sakura denied, but Hinata did not say anything on the matter. Shikamaru decided to change the topic. There was also the fight between Naruto and the daimyo of Kuminara no Kuni. What? Ino said. Naruto fought a daimyo? I think I heard something about that, Kiba said, trying to remember what he heard. Well, he's not just any daimyo. His name is Sumaru, and he's a self-proclaimed 5th Hoshikage from Land of Bears. Sumaru, said Tenten. Why does that sound so familiar? Neji, who barely had any alcohol, spoke up. Me, you, and Naruto were sent to Hashikakura to try and discover the mistress of their meteorite. He was the boy that we had discovered. Oh right, yeah. That guy was such an asshole. I remember Naruto tried to beat him up on that mission alone, on several occasions. Well, Naruto got what he wanted because he kicked the guy's ass, Shikamaru said. Really? Said Lee, gaining some interest. Yeah, Shikamaru said. The guy was about mid-tuning level, and Naruto handled him without even trying. It was quite the show. Well, he did beat leader of Akatsuki, Neji said, and the people of Hashikakura, despite their mysterious peacock method, they are not that powerful. It only took the three of us to beat their previous Hoshikage, and we were Genins at the time. I'm not surprised Naruto had no trouble with him. Man, I wish I was just there to see it, said Tenten. I would have loved to see that prick get the block knocked off him. After the fight, we went and we eat at a pretty extravagant restaurant. Goro and his siblings came by, so we got to talk and catch up a bit before talking about Konoha rebuilding. As Kiba asks, so do you really think that Naruto can get the village back to running before the Jonin vote? Most ninja that was in the clan knew about it because their clan head would be voting as well. Jonin vote? What's that? Sakura asks, as Neji decided to clarify. When they are still a Hokage, and they are unable to occupy the seat for the time being, and they have not picked a successor. A new Hokage is picked by the daimyo to take the place of the previous Hokage. That is until 2 months later when a Jonin vote is held. All the registered Jonins and clan heads cast their vote if the new Hokage should stay in office. If the person gets a majority vote, they will stay in as Hokage. And if they don't, Lee said, worried, what will happen to Naruto Dream if he did not win the vote? Then the previous will be put back into office when they get better. The intern Hokage would stay until then. If the Hokage does not get better in a year time, a new Hokage will be selected and the vote will ensue. This cycle continue until we have a new Hokage or the old one. Neji finished as he took a sip of sake out of the saucer in front of him. So what you're saying, if Naruto does not win the Jonin vote, then Tsunade Shishao will be reinstated once you wake up, said Sakura, wanting to hear if she got everything right. Correct, said Neji. If she is instated, then everything will go back to the way it was when she was first there. Shikamaru voiced his thoughts. Me now will no longer be an advisor, and my dad will take back over. But what happens if Tsunade wakes up before the vote? Sakura asks. The interim Hokage would remain in office until a vote. If he or she get the majority vote, there's nothing the old Hokage can do. They must step down and let the new Hokage take over. If the vote go the other way, then Tsunade will just take back over. Everyone seemed to understand as they took in the information slowly. As Ino spoke up after a while. So, do you think he's gonna win? She asked. They were all silent. Each of them thought about Naruto in a different way. If they said something that sounded a bit wrong to another, there could be quite a bit of yelling. I don't know, said Kiba. I mean, I want to see that idiot be Hokage, but Naruto is just that, an idiot. The Jonins are gonna see that. He's a lot smarter than you think, Shikamaru said. He may not have the most common sense, sure, but his ability to think on the fly are second to none, even compared to my clan. Kiba gave him a skeptical look. Kiba had not seen Naruto fight for some time now. So maybe the Uzumaki has improved. Yeah, whatever you say, he said. As Choji spoke up, Naruto has done a lot since then. Besides, what about Chunin exams? He did beat you, said Choji. Yeah, that was just a fluke. Oh, is that right? So are you saying that him beating me is a fluke as well? Asked Neji, looking towards him. As Kiba, cheeks red more than they were. Oh, come on, he said. He had a month to prepare. He knew what he was getting into. As Sakura glanced over, well, Naruto did fight Orochimaru the Sannin head to head in the Forest of Death. Did you fight a Sannin on the way to the tower, she asked. As Kiba grumbled, well, no, but as they all looked at him. You know, Shikamaru spoke up. Naruto also told me that Orochimaru did something that screwed with his chakra network, and it wasn't fixed until the end of the preliminaries. That meant he fought you handicap, and he still won. Fine, fine. Would you all stop jumping on my throat? I lost. Naruto beat me. I give up, he yelled. Everyone started to laugh at his antics as Kiba slammed his head on the table. He will do it, Sakura said as he glanced towards her. He is the #1 most surprising knuckle-headed ninja of all time. He'll do it, she said. With a smile on her face, she believed in him, after all. But guys, if you end subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platform. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.